Hardhat's all about showing up to play hard, doing what it takes to win.
If you want to cement legacy, win another.
He's your third center.
You don't want to pump him up too much, but it's hard not to.
This is maybe the most I've ever agreed with you.
What's up, everyone? This is Noah Dalzell, and I'm here with Bobby Manning after the Celtics' third day of training camp. We're starting to get a sense of how things have been going. Obviously, the Celtics have been in the building for about 12 weeks now, but this is the first week that we've been here, and this is the first week that everybody's been in the building for the same time, with Joe Mazzulla leading everything. So through these first few days, what have been your biggest takeaways from camp?
It's hard to say anything but the pace. We've been through 3 practices now, and pace is a big talking point pretty much every single day. No one's pushing back against that. Joe's described the kind of pace that they're playing with, and he went in depth a little bit more about that today. He's talking more about getting in the sets faster, setting their screens faster, just being early rather than flying up and down. So I think that's going to be interesting to watch next week, whether they're actually going to be flying around like the Bulls or some of these higher paced teams, or whether they're just going to be more assertive in getting into those actions. But I have a sense that between Jalen, Pritchard, personnel that they have, that they're going to be getting up the floor more.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed, I've been reading a lot of the coverage from around different training camps around the country, and it's kind of a big talking point in most training camps is playing faster. So we'll see how things actually look when the Celtics go to Memphis next Wednesday and play their first real game, because I do think that it's something that everybody strives toward because it benefits you in a lot of ways. That being said, it does match up with the personnel that they have, and it has been a common kind of talking point from players. And I think the other reality is that they're younger now. Like, you don't have Al Horford, you don't have Drew Holiday. Jaylen Brown's the most veteran player on the Celtics team. I think Chris Boucher might be the oldest player, unless I'm missing somebody. And so things have changed, as far as how they're approaching this camp in this period of time. And Xavier Tillman was talking about how, it's been a lot faster and they've been playing a lot harder, because, in part because of that. So while there's notable absences, and I think just it's weird to not see and hear from some of the guys that have really been staples of this team in recent years, I think that the other side of that is that there's a lot more of a youth energy in the building.
And we have seen Tatum. He's been around. He's been on the floor. There's one great moment where he welcomed Simons into his little circle with Derek and Ross. And like we said the other day, I feel like Simons is going to be one of those Tatum friends now. I can just tell. Does that mean he's going to be here for long? We'll see. Because a lot of those guys have gone out the door. But Tatum's been watching practice. You can see him in the training room. And you can see him being active and involved on the court. Now, when we asked Joe, is he going to be almost an assistant coach? Is he going to be in the film session, stuff like that? He said, we're focused more on the guys who are available and healthy. So I don't think Tatum's going to take a massive outsized role while he's out. But he's definitely here, and he's definitely visible.
And I think part of that is also just Joe's approach to what he wants us to talk about. I don't think he wants the story to be Tatum watch all year when there's guys that are actually lacing up and playing every game. And so I took that a little bit to say, I don't want to be answering questions and reading stories all year about Tatum's doing this, Tatum's doing that. But when we asked Baylor Shireman about it, he was like, yeah, he's been, he's Jayson Tatum. It's really helpful to have him around, and he's been talking to the younger guys. And honestly, I think when you get injured, there's different ways that mentally you can handle that. And some people might want to step away, and some people might want to be away from the facility, out of the public eye and all of that. And I kind of thought that might be Tatum's approach, because we know he's a little bit of a quieter person who keeps himself relatively more than some other stars in this league. But it seems like he's really been around. If you had told me a week ago we hadn't started camp yet, I knew that he was working out a lot and that there was a lot of good reviews about how hard he was working, and we saw the clips and all of that. But just how present he's been has been a little bit of a surprise to me, and it's definitely one of my biggest takeaways early on here.
Celtics also tweeted out a clip from some of the scrimmages they've gone on here. And I asked Derek about it today, whether they're playing in same groups or mixing and matching, and he said it has been a little bit of mixing and matching, trying to get to know some of the new guys here. But I wasn't surprised to see in the first seconds of the clip there, Pritchard, White, Hauser, Brown, Queta together. And before Boucher arrived, that to me was the obvious, who's going to start for this team. I'm sure we'll see different groups. I'm sure we'll see them have injuries and things that change that unit throughout the year. But it makes sense to me, Wednesday in Memphis, that would be the group, because those are the guys who have played together the most, and those are the guys who have the most experience here in Boston. So seeing that made me think that's going to be the starting lineup next Wednesday.
Yeah, and I think the fact that there's some guys have a lot of experience with this team and others are brand new plays a large hand right now in the way things are being approached at practice, and probably earlier on as well. Honestly, a name that I think was a little bit under everybody's radar, I know we talked about him earlier this week, is Xavier Tillman, who really did not play at all last year, didn't look great when he did come into the court.
You're really starting the hype train for him.
I'm not even trying to start the hype train. I just think that, he is one of the guys that now has multiple years of experience with this group that is totally off everybody's radar. Like, I don't think he came up when we were talking over the summer, the big man rotation, like, he didn't come up.
We forgot he was on the team sometimes.
Yeah, and so I think just seeing that he's moving better, that he's more active, that his knees are feeling better, that he's lost weight, that he feels more confident in his shot, he might be a little bit of a factor in the front court rotation as well, especially early on while the new guys kind of get acclimated to the system.
Any honorable mentions, storylines, takeaways?
No, I think we're going to see, I think there was this feeling heading into camp that this is Jaylen Brown's year and he's going to show the world what he can do. And I don't really get the sense that anybody's viewing it like that. Not Peyton Pritchard, who we know has a chip on his shoulder, not
even
Derek White.
Yeah.
Like, I think everybody views it as this is not going to be one guy's job to replace Jayson Tatum. It's going to be a team effort, and we're going to do the little things better. We're going to be focused on rebounding, on defense. And so I don't think it's going to be one guy going for MVP this year. It's going to be just a little bit of a different system that's very team-oriented to make up for all the absences they lost.
And mine, the hockey lines, we did get a follow-up today from Walsh on that. It sounded like what he thought was going to happen, that he, based on how they were playing in practice, thought guys would be rotating in and out 4 or 5 at a time, which actually makes some sense to me, that he extrapolated that on his own. So that explains that miscommunication to start camp here. Walsh talked today, White as well, and Missoula, so go check those out on the CLNS Media page. And Noah has a story out as well from training camp. We'll talk about that in our next video.